Hi there, my name is John Froese. I was born in Clearbrook, or Matsqui as it was known then, on February 10th, 1979, to my parents, Gerald and Vivian. That means I am 37 in a few days here. Prayed the prayer 1,000 times when I was younger, 12, 14, because I loved the world and I knew that I wasn't saved inside, deep inside my subconscious. I knew it. That's why I kept praying it, because all I could think about was sex with girls. And like most boys, because I was fallen. We are all fallen. When I was around 18, just out of high school, I was hanging out with friends, watching every movie on the shelf at Blockbuster or whatever, Rogers, and getting so bored. I was so bored, and I was starting to think, like, man, there's got to be, like, either I'm going to start doing stupid stuff because I'm so bored, or I need to get closer to God. So thankfully, God sent my neighbor over to my house and he told me about a missions program that was like a year long. It was kind of like YWAM, but it was a different name. I laughed at him, and inside my heart, for the first time, I felt heard in my heart a voice saying, I want you to go on that. And it shocked me. I stopped laughing, I closed the door, I went and prayed, and a few months later I was on my way to Chile, and for 8 months, after doing 3 months training in Vancouver. And when I got back, the $10,000 I needed to raise, I only had $250 I had to pay out of my own pocket, which was amazing because I didn't have a lot of friends or a lot of rich family. So it was totally God. So 2012, November, December, for the 3 years prior, I was into a hobby, RC airplanes. And I got so involved in that it was all I could think about. I began to hate my children, and one day in the kitchen I actually said it under my breath to my son, who was having one of his issues, freaking out a little bit. And I just said, I hate you, I hate him. And not so he could hear, but that's when I knew there was something wrong with me. That I was calling myself a Christian, and I already kind of knew this, again, subconsciously and somewhat consciously, that I wasn't living properly. Even though I wasn't doing drugs, I wasn't sleeping around, but I definitely had an idol in my heart, and it was manifesting through it was all I could think about, and anything that got in its way, I began to hate. So then I had a choice to make. I knew it was either get rid of it or go the way of Satan and of self, because the flesh is satanic, and to do what you want to do is to follow Satan. Anyway, thankfully God helped me, and I gave the last airplane I had just bought, hadn't put it together yet. It was an F-18, $400 and something I spent, and I gave it away because God told me to, and then I gave a couple more away. For a year or so before, I was struggling with thoughts, just blasphemous, wicked thoughts, curse words constantly in my head towards people, towards life in general, just frustration. And it took a few months, and God he totally cleared it up. Again, like, we still are in the flesh, and occasionally thoughts come, but I don't struggle with them. Whereas then I could pray, or try to pray and try to think differently, and they just came and they came and they came, and I was totally defeated because I was no longer living the life, and so God was giving me over to Satan, to my own ways. So praise be to the Lord Jesus Christ that He let me go so far that I could see where I was heading, and He gave me the eyes to see, and then He gave me the wherewithal to leave it, to decide to choose Him. Although I think that's all we have to do with salvation, is to choose. We have to make that choice, and He allows us to make that choice. But all glory to Him for bringing me to that choice, and He'll bring you there too if you're not. Okay, so November 2012, right around then, was when this all happened, when I gave away the airplanes, and just prior I'd been asked to lead a care group, and I reluctantly kind of agreed because no one else was going to do it. Meanwhile, as this happened, I began to hunger for truth. God actually, for the first time in a long time, I opened my Bible, and He spoke to me through, again, in my heart, as I was reading the words of Zephaniah, I think chapter 1 or 2, think it's Zephaniah, and it says, "Behold, I am about to come and destroy the whole earth. I am going to sweep the earth with the broom of destruction. Everything shall be destroyed." As the same with the buyer, the seller. I believe that verse is in there as well. It might be somewhere else. And it was just leaping off the page, and it was like I knew God was speaking this to me, that He's coming. And I didn't know when or what. He was just saying, "I'm coming, and I'm going to destroy this earth. It is wicked beyond belief, and I'm going to destroy it. It's the end." And so, I mean, I loved hearing His voice in my heart again, and just feeling the Spirit, that rush you get, and it was just awesome to know that He brought me back. And so I started researching. I started reading the Bible. I started praying, and He started confirming stuff to me. I came across many videos on YouTube of folks who said they'd received words from God that He was going to use Russia, China, North Korea, and a few other countries to perform a surprise nuclear attack on the United States of America and the Western world, Europe, and all that. And again, as I heard these things, it was several of them. The hair on my skin would just stand up, and I'd feel a rush. And for me, that's always been the Holy Spirit just confirming things. And not just that, but I started looking at the news. It was less than, I'm trying to remember, was it 2013? I think 6 months or so from then, that, or maybe it was 2014. I'll have to look into that. When Russia and the US, Obama and Putin had their falling out, and since then we've had open threats on their state news. North Korea has always done that, and China and Russia, though, we've had in the last 2 years, China put out in their news about if they attacked the US, where the nukes would fall and how many people would die. Russia has openly said we're the only country capable enough to reduce America to radioactive ash. So yeah, Ukraine happened. Obviously, that's when the falling out happened. Syria. It's all proxy wars. World War III is on. If you don't believe me, you're just not watching the news, or you're got your head in the sand. I'm sorry. But there's been cyber attacks back and forth. Russia's attacking the banks. The U.S. has attacked North Korea. North Korea has attacked the U.S. Like cyber attacks, banks, power grids, all this stuff. It's on. We're just waiting for the nukes to fly. I mean, it's so obvious. Now He led me to a ministry, a man named Jonathan Kleck on YouTube. He showed everybody the dollar bill conspiracy. If you fold up a 20 US into a pentagram, which is the star of Satan, it's in the center when you turn it upside down. There's the bombing of the Pentagon on the one side and the bombing of the Twin Towers on the other, and it's unmistakable. Look it up for yourself. It's undeniable. And that bill was first issued, that printing was first issued in 1996. It's pretty obvious why. That's when all the wars started. 9/11 happened, and then boom, the U.S. was off to war all over the Middle East, and still is today. And that's how they keep their economy afloat. It's a debt-based economy, so they need to create debt, and it's end-time Babylon. I believe God's shown it to me. He's confirmed it. It's so obvious. Just look on the $1 bill of the world reserve currency, the US dollar. Everybody has one, has seen one. Almost everybody in the world, all over the US, people pass it back and forth. Look on the backside. Look at the pyramid. The pyramid is your enemy. Pharaoh enslaved God's people, and he still is today. Yeah, you got the all-seeing eye at the top, the shining eye, and the pyramid, and it's all 666. The whole system is a beast. And now humanity is turning into a beast, and you have ISIS destroying the Middle East, cutting off the heads of everyone that doesn't believe like they do. Again, 2016? 3.5 years ago, 3 and a few months, God told me, I'm coming, I'm going to destroy the earth. So this isn't him, but he's allowing the devil to do his work. And eventually God will pour out his wrath on the devil's kingdom once the New World Order is fully formed. If you don't believe me, just do your own research. Just please open your eyes and realize the truth that the devil is inside of you. If you are not redeemed, you are run by the spirit of Satan. He runs every human being. It's like the Matrix. We're caught in a web. and pretty soon they're going to chip everybody, and you already have your cell phone in your pocket. They can turn on your camera, your microphone at any time for any reason, and the NSA is watching you. Look it up. They even have the all-seeing eye. That's what it is, folks. You see this on all the commercials and all the movies. Satan is people showing their allegiance, the spirit within humans showing their allegiance to Satan. I'm just showing you that. My allegiance is to Christ, to his kingdom, and to truth. And that's what I'm going to show you on this channel. God bless.